we're going to wait until he gets on, and then I'm going to share the sound. Okay, guys? So that's why you can't hear me. Thank you, Holly, for the update. Okay, everybody, welcome to tonight's team call, which is hosted by a bunch of us leaders. And we are super excited to have Chris Downing with us tonight. He is the creator, aka he calls himself the co-creator of Shift Shop, because he is extremely humble, in case you didn't know. And he said this was a major group effort, and he's very, just it's an incredible program. We have a lot of leaders on here that are also in the test group. We are extremely blessed to have him as the newest super trainer in Team Beachbody. Many have described him as like a breath of fresh air that we really needed, and I definitely think that many of us would agree with that. So super excited to have him on our call to share a little bit about his inspiration, a little bit about his story, and hopefully be able to answer a couple questions. And just so you know, this is his third call tonight. So we are very thankful and blessed to have him here. I'm going to hand it over to him. Give me 1 second so I can screen share. And you are screen sharing to everybody. All right, Chris, it's all you.
On me? Look at all these happy people. All right, guys. Well, thanks for having me on here. But I feel like it's been actually kind of routine. So I'm just going to give you the story, just give you all of it. And then after I give you the story, we can just answer whatever question that you guys have. But I feel like you're not going to truly appreciate the Shift Shop or appreciate everything that it's about until you hear the story, the real story. That makes sense? So it's going to take me like 15 minutes to explain it because I got to make sure I navigate through all of it to bring you to where I am, why I'm sitting in front of this camera, in front of this computer. That good? Can you be patient with me for a second? All right, so.
Oh, hold on, Chris, 1 second. I'm so sorry to interrupt. Apparently they don't have audio. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I was like, this is what happens when I host things.
They're like, man.
So close.
He about to tell the story,
I
y'all.
know, man, I totally.
They read my lips like, I saw it.
I get like 50 messages. Can't hear, can't hear, can't hear.
Megan, I just tested it on my phone to see, and I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought because we are good. We have audio.
Okay.
Hey.
We good? Can everybody hear? We good? All right, so I'll say it real quick to those who didn't hear. I'm just going to give you guys everything, the story that brought me in front of this camera and this computer today, just so you can kind of get a glimpse of why I believe the Shift Shop is what it is, and why I keep saying time and time again that this is way bigger than me. All right. So prior to this, this incident, I trained pro athletes. You guys kind of got the story from the bio. Everybody got that, right? My uncle's dream and all that good stuff. So I won't touch base on that. You can always go watch the video. But my uncle's dream and everything I did after that. So, from, opening the gym in that town, things took off, once I trained their team and they went to the playoffs, things just escalated. My YouTube channel went to like 215 countries. And so, I had like coaches wanting to fly me over to different places and to train their teams. And so 2 years ago, I got in a lot of trouble, like a lot of trouble. And what happened, and I'm telling you this because, let's be honest, I'm not no dummy. I know you guys Google me. So let me let me just bring you in on what happened, and then you can see why when I get on that stage, I'll get loose. And so there was the apartment. I caught a drug charge. I got a marijuana drug charge. And there was this apartment. You walk through the apartment, and there's a duplex. There's, 2 apartments. To the left is where my son and his mom lived. We were split up. And then to the right was a vacant apartment. All right. And the person who should have been responsible for that package wasn't there. And so this person had these drugs, delivered to the vacant apartment to the right, of which no one lived. Obviously, it's vacant. But allegedly, they said that they put it in the person's name who previously lived there, because that person moved out of state. So the day before this all happens, I'm at my son's mom's house, and we're spending with them, and she's transitioning to move back to my home, and we were patching things up, and so I saw the police car go by, didn't think nothing of it, just thought they were patrolling the area. And I'm an extremely popular guy in my town, man, just because of all the success and opening up 2 gyms and just all the pro athletes I trained and different things like that, and just being in the newspaper all the time. So anyway, I saw the police go by. I didn't think nothing of it. Why do I need to be thinking about it? I just, So anyway, I guess that day they were investigating me. They followed me around. They took my license plate. So these drugs is a house Chris Downing is at. And so they followed me. All they saw me do was go home and go to the gym. And I think I stopped at the grocery store or something like that. But I didn't meet anybody. There was no drug transactions. So anyway, the next day I'm over there. Over there again, and this package arrives. And so I look at her. I said, "Did you order something?" And she was like, "No, I'm looking at the package. I never physically touched it. I never physically possessed the package. I didn't open it. I just saw my son's mom's name on this package. And that's why I asked if she ordered something. She said, no. She said, did you give me something? I said, no. And so I'm looking at it, and I left it there. I mean, I didn't know what it was. I just didn't feel right. Like, this big box shows up, and it has her name on it, and then someone else's name that she don't even know. So I'm thinking, I'm not, by the time I realized I wasn't going to, I'm stepping away from it, whoop, here they came. They was already on the street in unmarked cars, laying down in the car, and they swooped up, and I'm thinking, like, I'm seeing this is the police, the narcotics division. I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So they said, we need to talk to you. And I'm like, okay. And then they take her, go off to the side, took me to the side, so you can empty your pockets. I emptied my pockets, had some like $75 or something like that, and 2 cell phones. And so, which I always had 2 cell phones, because one of them is my gym phone. So anyway, I said, you do realize you're in a lot of trouble, right? I said, for what? Come on, Chris, let's be honest here. Let's not play games. I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, there's drugs in that box. I'm like, really? And then they asked her, they say, is Chris a drug dealer? She was like, no. The dude's at the gym 80, 90 hours a week. No. And no. got the wrong guy. And so they put us together, and she said, I don't know anything about the package. I don't know. And I'm telling them I don't know nothing about it. And they're like, well, somebody's going down for this package because there's drugs there, and we got another 10 pounds at the police department. So someone's going to go down. I'm getting irritated because you guys are acting like you don't know what's going on. He said, so, ma'am, it's in your name. I guess you're the one who's going down for that. I said, she going to get in trouble for something that's not hers? It's in her name. That's all we have to go off of. She said, I don't know anything about it. I said, it's mine, sir. He said, what do you mean? I said, it's my package. So you're admitting that this is your package? Absolutely, it's my package. She going to go to jail? Not if you admit that it's mine. So she can go. I said, it's not mine. It's mine. 100% is mine. So you're knowing who you are and what you are in this community. Do you have any idea what's about to happen? I said, yeah, it's mine. I said, she's not getting in trouble for this, correct? He said, if you're telling me right now she has nothing to do with this, you're going down for it. I said, it's my package. And so they took me down to the police station and an interrogation room, and the cop was like, "Oh, so where you need to help us help you?" You know, he said, "If you tell us where you got it from, we might be able to help you out a little bit." I said, "I don't know. I don't know where the package came from." What do you mean you don't know where the package came from? Okay, I get it. You don't want to tell on the person. I said, no, I'm telling you, I don't know who sent the package. I don't know who the package, I don't know. But you're admitting that it's yours. I know I'm admitting that it's mine, but I don't know who sent the package, man. I have no idea who sent the damn package. I don't know. I don't know. And so he looked at me because I kind of got loud with him. And he's like, So we went, walked away, talked to somebody, came back. He said, okay, Chris, I'm going to try to help you out here, buddy. I'm trying to get you out on the signature. It won't get in the media. You're going to have to go to court and explain this, but let me talk to my boss, see what I can do. Goes to his boss, comes back. He said, man, I'm so sorry. My boss said you're a public figure. I have to book you. I said, well, what does that mean? Because I've never been in trouble in my life. I said, what does that mean? He said, I got to book you, and the media's going to find out in an hour. I was like, are you serious? I was like, okay. I closed my eyes like, oh my gosh, this is bad. This is real bad. In the meantime, I'm training 5 teams. Still have my pro athletes. Gym is rocking. It's crazy. Next day, I buy myself out of jail. Like, I had to go through the process, fingerprint and all that. I buy myself out. Next day, I had to go to court. And, man, it was the worst experience in my life. Like, I'm talking about craziness. People on social media. I knew he was involved in something. There's no way a person is successful in this town and have 2 gyms, and he's a menace to our society. We had our kids around him. He is a horrible human being. Shame on him, and for tricking us to think he was a stand-up guy. So I have a child that's in high school, that's a senior at this point, right? And she goes to going to a really nice school, and your dad's a drug dealer. I knew it. I knew he was into something, and we train with him. He's a liar. He's not who he said he was, and everything about him is he's a fraud. And so my daughter raises up on the inside like, you're not gonna talk about my daddy like that. Like, that's not gonna happen. So she comes home from school like, Dad, you have to tell the truth. You have to tell these people that it's not yours. I'm like, sweetheart, ain't nothing I can do about that. Like, I already admitted it was mine. And then the person who should have, been responsible for it, he did come to me and was like, man, let me go tell the police it was mine. I don't want to see this ruin your life. I'm like, nah, because they're going to think that you covering up for me. It's already out in the media now. So the police took my cell phones that day, and they had my phones for 5 days. They went through every ounce of my phone. Somehow, they put up emails I deleted, messages I deleted. The DEA or the narcotics guy gave my phone back, and he said, Chris, I done been through this phone to the point where all the way back to the day that you got the phone. There's not one trace in this phone of drug activity. I don't know what's going on, but either you're really good or this isn't making sense to me. I said, thank you. Can I have my phones back, sir? He said, by the way, there's some really good workouts in there. So, I took my phone and I left, and I'm sitting here. And this is when it really got crazy. So I'm out on bond. I go to court 2 months. My daughter is getting bullied. Like, I'm talking about, I'm going to send more drugs to your house. I hate your dad. I'm going to ruin his life. I'm going to make sure he never gets out of jail. And so she's, going through anxiety. She's freaking out because she don't know if I'm going to prison. And it's just bad. All of a sudden, my gyms are failing. All the schools told me we can't have you around our kids. Rightfully so. I respect it. I understand. And I'm just getting beat up in the community, just beat down my character, everything. And so me and my daughter started bucking a little bit because she was angry at me for not telling the truth. And so we have a rule at my house on the weekends if she goes to her mom's or her grandma's house, because I had custody of her since she was 2 months old. I raised her by myself. And so she would either go to her mom's or her grandma's for the weekend. Her laundry had to be done before she left. And if she stayed home that weekend, it had to be done by 6 o'clock on Sunday. Well, it's Friday. I come home and she's got her clothes in the laundry room. It's not done. I call her after about an hour. Hey, when you come into this laundry? I'm not. I'll do it Sunday when I get home. Whoa. Okay, well, first of all, you're not going to tell me what you're doing. Number one, that ain't happening. So when you come in and do this laundry, you do the laundry, put your stuff away, then you go to your grandma's house. Dad, I'm not coming home. I just don't want to be there. I keep getting phone calls of people telling me they're going to plant drugs in my car, send drugs in my house, and you just let this happen. I can't believe you would just let this happen. I said, listen, you got 15 minutes to get this car here, or I'm coming to get it, and you're grounded from your car. You're not coming to get my car, and I'm not bringing it. Oh, okay. So she goes up the street to Rite Aid, buys a bottle of extra strength Tylenol, comes back to her grandma's house, goes upstairs, telling me, I hate my life. I just hate it. And so she runs some bath water, turns the music up, takes 30 extra strength Tylenol, takes the pills while she's in the bathtub. Her grandpa comes home from work, has to use the bathroom, knocks on the door, does it about 15, 20 minutes later, doesn't get a response from her. Goes downstairs, tells his wife, hey, I got his bathroom. How long has she been in the bathroom? She's been in there for like 25 minutes. 25, 30 minutes. She said, well, she don't take baths anyway. She takes showers. And so he waits about 15 more minutes. Like, I got to go. He knocks on the door. By the time she's in there like 45 minutes, she's like, listen, I need to use the restroom, knock on the door. He didn't want to look in there because it's a little girl, but the music was loud. So he opens the door, sends his voice to her, hey, how long are you going to be? I got to go to the bathroom. Didn't hear anything, but he saw her hands like this. She's unconscious, in the bathtub, unresponsive. Called the paramedics. They rush her to the hospital. Nothing the local hospital can do. They ship her up to the children's hospital, immediately start trying to get the stuff out of her body, hoping they can get, the failure, thinking she's going to have kidney or liver damage. She's unresponsive. And so she's in the ICU for 4 days. Meanwhile, Child Services had a meeting with me at the hospital, ate me alive. Look what you caused. You're a horrible person. Look what you're a disgrace to this community. You should go to jail. You don't deserve to have your daughter. And I'm sitting here like, like, are you serious? So now I leave the hospital. She's still in there for a couple of days. They put her on a psych ward for an additional week. I'm going there visiting my daughter like, I can't believe you're even up here. This isn't even how I raised you. You're up here with kids that have real problems. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy to me, man. And so from there, I come home, and as I walk in my door, my buddy calls me, who shot all my YouTube videos. He said, hey, man, I just want you to know I love you. You know we're like brothers. And he's like one of my good friends still to this day. And he said, but I need to talk to you. I said, what's up, man? He was like, first of all, how's your daughter doing? I said, she's all right. And he said, well, man, I hate to say this, but I can't do your YouTube videos anymore. I'm sorry, man. I can't be affiliated with you. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to keep it going? He said, I don't know, man. I can't be associated with you right now. I said, all right, man. So I sat down in my living room, and I looked at my account, and I had $20,000 in there that I had saved up. And I'm like, all right, man. I'm just sitting here, and like, what am I going to do? Like, I need these videos because this is how I share my gift. This is how it's impacting people. I'm from a small town. And so I got up the next day, and I went and bought a whole production. And I did. I got up, I looked it up, went, bought a whole production, cameras, lights, the whole shebang. And I got in trouble for it, too, when I walked through the door. She was like, what are you doing? I can't believe you just spent $18,000 on equipment. The gym's failing. I can't believe you're doing that. I'm like, listen, my words, exactly. I grew up in the projects, man. I've already seen as worse it can get. We ain't nowhere near close to being in the projects. I'm taking a leap of faith. She threatened to leave and just angry. And so this is an example you want to show your son. It's bad enough that you're going through all this stuff. And so so then I bought the equipment, don't know how to use it. She's like, you don't even know how to use the stuff. only time that I do is turn power on. I don't know how to set up a light. I don't know how to ignite a light. I don't know how to, I don't know how to do anything with this camera. And so I sat down and I said to myself, okay, the only person that can help me right now is dead. The only person that's ever made me believe, that's ever empowered me, that's ever motivated me, that ever made me feel like I had a purpose on this earth. Because I grew up sexually molested twice by the time I was 5, abused physically, mentally, emotionally, and adopted. So I was jacked up as a young man, just no self-esteem, nothing. And so the only person that ever spoke life into me was my uncle, and he was dead. And now once I really processed that, I'm like, now I'm going to this depression because I feel like I didn't let this man down. Like I didn't really let him down. I'm rock bottom. And so I'm sitting there, and I started having these visions of every movie up until 38 years of age that's ever truly impacted me, that's ever gave me goosebumps, that's ever made me want to go out and dream and work out harder or become a better person. And I went online and I bought every last one of those posters. Mind you, I had $2,000 left. I bought every single one of those posters. It came to like 1787 or something like that. Of course, I got chewed out. Oh, let me guess. What are you going to do? You're going to create a movie theater now? Did you spend $1,700 on movie posters? Okay, what about your son's food, Chris? What about this? What about that? How are we going to live? What about these bills? Next thing you know, I put all these pictures up. She said, make sure you make it good enough because that's where you're going to be sleeping. I'm like, that's fine. Like I said, I grew up in the projects. I slept on air mattresses. I don't care. You grew up in these suburban areas. You have no idea what struggle represents. We bucket. Just going at it. I mean, just going, I'm leaving. I said, okay, fine. I've been by myself before. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I said, you got a son going off still angry, right? Again, she never really felt any type of like adversity ever. And so I'm sitting here and now I'm getting crushed on social media, crushed in articles, just crushed. And I knew that I needed something. So what I did is I leaned on my poster Gandhi and what Gandhi represented. And I knew that I'm out on bail. So if I get in trouble, I'm gonna really be a thug. The judges they're gonna crucify. I'm done. So I had to use the practices of Gandhi. I had to exercise more love despite being dogged out and judged and everything. I just had to really walk in as much love as I could, right? So I leaned on other movies like Kung Fu Panda. It's my favorite movie of all time, and how that movie represented so many spiritual principalities about creation, and what you want is what's in that folding, and how that panda had nothing. He had nothing, and everything he became was something he created, and he never lost any weight while he did it. It was his mindset. It was everything that was in his spirit. That little wizard convinced him of everything that he was, and that resonated with me. It wasn't about his weight. It was about his purpose. You see what I'm saying? So I leaned on those movies, and I would even watch them. And so now I'm at the point where my account's in the negative for 4 months, and I'm broken. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, she is about to lose her wig, and we are, I mean, at it, like badly. I slept down here for 2 weeks. I got a shower. I got everything I need down here. And so, yeah, it was just really bad and really dark. And so what did it was I realized, okay, I need to do something now, and I got to take a leap of faith because where I'm going right now, maybe I'm crazy, but I'm about to lose everything physically. I get 3 years probation, so I know I'm not going to prison. And so I asked my little boy, I said, you want to go to, no one wants to be my friend, no one wants to talk to me. I'm like, you want to go to the gym with Daddy and play? He was like, yeah. So we go to the gym, I set the cameras up, and I start training him, and I'm, like putting him through different exercises, and we're having fun. And I go home, and I had a guy who came to my house 2 times a week and taught me how to use my cameras and my software. He taught me for 3 months, but I still didn't do any videos. So what I did was, the very first video that I ever filmed and ever edited was the video that Carl saw on YouTube. He was out on his turf in Malibu running on turf, and he thought, man, it would be cool to have a workout outside. So what he did is he YouTube workouts outside. Now, out of trillions of videos, my video popped up of me training my son. And he said it moved on his heart. And then he went to my channel and saw all my work. And he was like, whoa. So he kind of looked, And then he showed some people at Beachbody, and then they looked me up, but he's got a drug charge. Let me explain to you why Carl is such an amazing human being. At that moment, he could have been like, baggage, I can't even go into that. There's millions of trainers out there. So what they did, he said, let's just keep an eye on him. They went looking for more trainers. Kept looking. And his wife, Isabel, told me in Punta Cana, I constantly told him, Downing is our guy. That is the guy that's him. He's the one. And so Heather called me and she said, well, I want to, before I go there. So he discovered me in December, right? In December. Beginning of December. The end of December, that same month, my world is done, man. I'm like, it's bad, guys. Like, again, Christmas just passed. I wasn't even able to get my kids anything. We got them a couple things, but it busted me up. But I heard about that $20,000 though, right, for Christmas. And so it just made me feel like the most horrible person. And at this point, like, I never contemplated it, never entertained it, but then suicide thoughts, it's like knocking on my door, like, hey, you need to just kill yourself, man. You're done. And I never like thought about it, but it just crossed my mind. And when that thought came across my mind, that's when I realized we in a pit, man. Like suicide, and I would never ever even consider that because of what it would do to my kids, man. I'm not that kind of person. I wasn't raised like that. I'm a survivor. And so what I did is, it was one night, it was super late, I wrote myself a letter. At this desk I'm sitting at right now, I wrote a letter to myself. I took every aspect of my life in this letter and I wrote what I wanted my life to be. I accepted everything that was going on in that moment, right there for what it was. Not blaming anybody. It was a decision I made to say the box was mine, and here's the repercussions of it. I accepted it. But in this letter, I wrote every area, every detail of my life that I wanted it to be. And so I would read this letter to myself morning, afternoon, and night. When I would have bad days, I would read it to myself. But this is what I did that really brought it home. In the letter, during the career part of it, I put in the letter that through YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or some social media, that I would partner with a company and do great things. I did not know that Carl discovered me 2 weeks prior to that. I had no idea. And so when I was down and I would read this letter, and I didn't want to just read it. Like I needed to give it a heartbeat. And the only way I could give it a heartbeat is if I connected to it emotionally, if I put an emotion behind reading it. So the days I was down, I would read this and cry like a baby, as in a celebratory way, like, man, I finally had a miracle. This really happened. And I would read it as if I had a breakthrough, but it was real tears. And then it was days I would read it out of just excitement. And there was days I would just sit back and read it from a humble perspective, like, whoa, you really got lucky. But I had to connect with that thought, connect with that vision, connect with that emotion. Once I did that, that gave every word on that paper a heartbeat. It gave it life. So from there, I kept doing it and kept doing it. Things started attracting to my life that reflected that paper. I got to 30,000 behind. Listen to this. This is gonna blow your mind. One of my gyms, I was $22,000 behind in rent. My other gym, $60,000 behind in my rent. They never got rid of me. In that letter, I kept saying, my gym is restored. Oh my gosh, everybody gave me compassion. Everyone came back. My training got better. And I just kept saying it to myself. And these people wouldn't get rid of me. They wouldn't kick me out because they saw it. And in the practical, I'm busting my tail. I'm working as hard as I can work. Now all of a sudden, I'm attracting people, more clients. It got to the point I started getting so many clients, I would ask these people in these consultations, y'all do know I got a drug conviction, right? Because I'm like, where y'all coming from? Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like, let me show you this article. We know you got a drug conviction, but we don't care about that. It's marijuana. We want you to train our kid. I'm just checking because I don't want you to come here and you know I got trouble. You know, I'm saying that in there. And so from there, I'm constantly going back and forth. From December, from January, May 23rd, Heather called. She said, we've been watching you for a while. We want to create an outdoor program and want you to be the face of it. But before we turn you into a superstar, she was like, is there anything we should know about your past? And I said, this dude right here. Is there anything you should know about your past? And I said, yes. And I told her what happened. And she said, hold on, let me call Carl. And then she called Carl, and when she called Carl said, I believe in giving people second chances. As long as he's got it behind him, I'm going to put it behind me. As long as he's got it behind him, we can move forward. And so that was it. And then I signed a deal in August, and I knew that I needed to do something. Like, I had one shot at this. There was no guarantees. It was a second project, and I knew that there could potentially be backlash from people that Carl would bring a guy in that was a felon. I knew it, and I told myself, I said, dude, I couldn't do the test group in Ohio because of the weather, and so I took a leap of faith. I said, you know what? I'll go to LA. They got me an apartment, a car, and I just got my gym back up, and I risked all my clients. I said, listen, if you guys need to go to other gyms, go, but I have to go. And I took a leap of faith. I left, went to LA, disconnections, still in my gyms. I'm paying from the money that I was making. I was still paying bills from California to keep the lights on. And Beachbody really helped me. And so I would go to the gym every day, and I would listen to Eminem, Lose Yourself. And I got that song in my spirit because I knew that there was no such thing as there's no guarantees. It's another project. And I knew that I needed to make sure Carl never had to say, I regret that decision. I did not want to put the company in that position. I didn't want to put all the other super trainers in that position. I did not want to be I didn't want to put any negative outlook on that company. And so when we got together, we was trying to test everything. Again, it was supposed to be an outdoor program. I'm almost done. It wasn't called Shift Shop. It was called OCD, which meant Outdoors with Chris Downey. So we're out in the field trying to test it. Same marker concept, everything, trying to test it. And we couldn't find a syncing device that would eliminate like sirens, but most importantly, my style of training, which is to engage, to talk to you, to keep you in the moment. And with outside stuff we can't control, it was just too hard to figure it out, and we was losing time. So Carl said, let's take it back indoors, make it a 21-day program, and we'll come up with a name later. Kept submitting names, couldn't get it. Everything kept getting kicked out. Power Rise, Level Up, Next Level, iRamp, all these different names. 17 hours and we needed a name. Carl sent a text to Jack and said, Shift Shop. Jack said, what do you think about the word Shift Shop? I was like, what? He said, Shift Shop. I'm like, what does that have to do with my personality? I mean, whatever you want to call it, but Shift Shop? He said, I don't think Chris likes the name. So he said, meet me tomorrow at the office. So we met in Carl's office, and Carl said, you don't like the name, do you? I said, it's not that I don't like the name, because I don't want to be ungrateful. I just don't understand how I relate to shift and shop. I don't understand how my personality relates to that. He said, I'm going to tell you how. I was driving down La Brea Avenue, and all I saw was a bunch of shops, car shops. And I started thinking to myself, people bring their cars here. You open up this garage. Inside, this car gets stripped, gets broken down, gets patched up, gets sanded, gets repainted. The customer picks up their car. They open this garage door. Now you got a totally remodeled car. That's what you do for people. Whoa. He said, and also when you go to BOD, all you see is programs. But with you, I want people to feel like they're going to a place when you train them. That's what you represent. That's what I see in you. And I'm thinking, so. And so the shift concept came from, now this is deep. The shift concept came from shifting from 25 minutes to 35 minutes to 45 minutes. And I was cool with that. So as we started like going back into rehearsals and everything, I had a moment. That shift meant more than 25 minutes, 35 minutes, 45 minutes. That shift represented that piece of paper that I wrote that letter, how I had a shift in mindset to convince myself that this paper was my life and all was going on in the physical was temporary. That shift represented to me all the abuse as a child, being molested, being adopted, being physically and mentally abused. Fast forward to when I got in trouble, being persecuted, being judged, being broke, my daughter almost dying, my world coming to a crash, my account in the negative. That shift represented so much more. So what I took is my pain and my passion, my hurt, my cry, my uncle's dream, and I took it all and put it in the shift shop and made it like a personal development through fitness. And it had nothing to do with abs and weight loss. It had everything to do with telling everybody who did this program, no matter where you came from, what setbacks you had, anything you've ever had to overcome. If you just get a glimpse, despite how ruffled and how dirty and how scarred and beat up you look, if you get a glimpse, I mean a short vision of who you can become, if you look within yourself and dream again, believe again, have enough faith to challenge yourself to give birth to the greatness within you, you would change your life forever. That's exactly what happened to me, and that's exactly why I'm in front of this computer right now. So that's what the Shift Shop is about. All right, roll the questions. How long did I take? Oh, 37 minutes. Don't worry, we'll stay up all night if we have to. I'm gonna answer questions. I ain't in no rush.
Was that a record? I mean, that was intense. That was amazing. So we have, guys, do you have questions later from your teams that you have that you want to ask in the chat? Because I'm gonna check on the YouTube chat while you guys ask away. Chris, can you see the Zoom chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see here. Hey, man. Stop all that crying. No, I'm joking. Yeah. Who inspires me? You want to know the truth? The person that inspired, well, it's more than just one person. First and foremost, my kids, man. Like, my kids went through a ringer over that. Little Chris, you see, came down and made sure I was, because he didn't see me in 3 hours. That little dude inspires the heck out of me, because this is the honest goodness truth. He inspires me the most because the reason why he was named Chris Jr. is because I asked his mother, can we name him after me? She said, well, why? She said, his name was supposed to be Jax. She said, why you want to name after you? I said, because I want to make him the better Chris Downey. Everything I didn't have as far as a father, I want to pour it into him. I want to give him a good foundation, and I want to speak dreams and goals, and I want to really monitor his childhood so that he could become the best, because I've made so many mistakes and I had such things that I couldn't control. I felt like my name was tainted. But if I can have a kid, and what I was able to do, guys, is I was able to heal my emotions and my hurts and my pains through my son, because when I see him, I saw myself. He smiles like me. He has my personality. He looks like me. And all I could see was myself. And that just made me love on him even that much more. So he inspires me a lot. But the network, the coaches really inspire me for the fact that you guys, you know, I know you guys look me up. I know you check things out. And the fact that you gave me a second chance inspires me to be able to be the best trainer I can be, to empower you to make the shift, so that when you take this to your teams, you can just start a movement and take care of your families and be the best that you can be, reinvent yourself, empower your circle of influence. So yeah, it's quite a few things that inspire me right now. All right. What's the next? You have any questions?
What's your specific athletic background?
I played, I was a skinny dude. I played basketball in college at Alfred University. And as I said earlier, I raised my daughter. When I found out I was having a kid, she wasn't able, her mother had some things going on. And so I needed to get my daughter. And so I couldn't take her back to college with me. I mean, I could have, but you know, there was some teen parents that said they would help me with her, and I had to make a decision to just drop out of school. I got full custody of my daughter at 2 months old, and I just raised her. So yeah, I played basketball in college and football in high school. Basketball and football in high school. Any tips that I have for when to begin the shift shop? Yeah, I got one tip and one tip only. Whenever you're ready, honestly, whenever you're ready to be better, whenever you're ready to really see what you were created for, whenever you're ready to really look within yourself and say, you know what, I do have a purpose in this earth, and I'm ready to be the best that I can be. And the reason why I say that is because I would not allow a person to start the shift shop if they're not a dreamer, if they don't have goals. Don't even do it, man. Go do something else. Reason being is because this program is so much bigger than abs and losing weight. Those are perks. This program is so mental, and it's so much like personal development in it. Like, that's why I wanted to make sure it was created for everybody. Person that needs to lose 100 pounds to someone that's extremely fit, because in that program, and you guys know Cam is an animal. You can apply your own effort in that program that's for you. If you're a freakish athlete, you can go ham on that thing. But and what I love about it, so say there's a person that needs to lose weight, but your ultimate goal is to someday, do the workout like Cam. There's levels, there's steps. As a modifier, there's no judgment. There's nothing to have an ego about. You feel just as much a part of it as Cam does. Your effort is just as much as Cam's, and everybody feels like they're a part of something. And that's what I love about this program. Everybody can find their own shift at their fitness level. Tips. Yeah, the tips is have some goals and start dreaming. Yeah, the nutrition program comes from it comes from a experiment that I used to do. So prior to this, I did a lot of modeling and acting. So Denis was like, "Hey man, how you want to?" He's the head nutritionist at Beachbody. He says, "So how you want to do this program? What do you do whenever you have to get really lean?" I said, "Dude, I cut my carbs." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Man," I said, it kind of goes with the program. I wanted to tell you this, but this is it. So a month out from my shoots, I would just straight cut carbs, like cold turkey. And so I was doing it ignorantly, not knowing. All I saw was the result, but I didn't understand the process because I didn't pay attention to the process. In my mindset, I'm like, okay, I'm about to just struggle, but I know that I'm gonna look, where I need to be for my picture. So when the light bulb went off, what I was really doing was epic, powerful to me. So what was happening was around the 7th, 8th, 9th day in that ballpark, I started getting symptoms. I started getting headaches, really tired. I was irritable. I just felt, I just didn't feel like I just hated me. And so I couldn't understand why I never had that feeling before when I was just randomly living, rebelliously living every day, eating what I want, doing whatever I want. Never had that feeling. The light bulb went off one day. I said, you know what? Every time these symptoms come, gotta mean something. Everything, and I say it in the shift shop, everything gotta have a purpose. Everything, what does this mean? And it hit me. This means I left my comfort zone. And behind these temptations and this irritability and these symptoms is the results that I'm gonna convey in front of this camera. But it wants to take me back to my complacency, take me back to the mindset I had, take me back to being a mediocre human being. So what I started doing is I started looking at old pictures, old photo, from the jobs and looking at commercials, and I was happy. I was just vibrant. So what I did is the one time I did it, I was waiting for the symptoms, and I'm thinking, okay, this told me I'm in a good place right here because something wants to take me back to where I came from, right? But on the other side of this, after that 9th day, I had more energy, still no carbs. My complexion got better. My thoughts became more clear, and I felt good. And I looked in the mirror. Oh, shit, I got abs. Where did they come from? You know what I mean? I'm like 12, 13 days in this. I'm seeing nuggets. And so I'm thinking, dang, and I still have energy and still no carbs in my body. Then I go to the job. I got so much confidence. I feel good about myself. I'm conveying in front of the camera, which means the client is happy. And then it hit me. I made a shift, man. I started celebrating that symptom. Why is those symptoms there? To take me back to being just an average guy. Take me back to the average mindset. Putting that stuff in my body that was cloud my vision, cloud my mind, not allowing me to give best to myself. And then Denis was like, dude, we can't cut people's carbs. I said, exactly. We can't cut people's carbs for several reasons. Because you guys are going to have a high divorce rate. Somebody going to rob a bank. Somebody going to slap their neighbor. Somebody going to start eating their dog food. Someone's going to start drinking their kids' formula. You can't take people's carbs like that. He was like, so what we're going to do is we're going to make it abroad. We're going to do a process. Week 1, since it's 25 minutes, you get more carbs. Week 2, we give you less. Week 3, which is one of the hardest weeks of the program, you get no carbs because I want you to tap into your spirit. By then, you'll start feeling better. You'll have that shift. You'll power your way through your workouts, and then you'll realize you really don't need a lot of carbs anyway. You see what I'm saying? But I guarantee you by week 3, you're going to look in that mirror and say, hello, how are you? Where have you been? You know where that person's been? That person's been inside you all along. But you make a shift during those moments to say, I'm in a great place, I'm vulnerable, now I'm about to give birth to the best part of me. So that's what the whole philosophy of the meal plan. And also, you do get fruits and vegetables all throughout the week. So we just take away the starchy stuff. That's it, the stuff that you love, the comfort food. What other question do you got? Yes, so after the program, so you go week 1, you get carbs. Week 2, you get less carbs. Week 3, you get no carbs. Week 4 and 5, you go back to week 2's meal, which you do get carbs. And week 6, you go back to no carbs. So week 4 and 5, you'll do week 2's meal plan, which is carbs. And then you'll finish week 6 if you decide to make it a 6-week program. So weeks 3 and week 6 is the only weeks you don't get starches. The way you should prepare mentally and physically before the program release let's take away the program for a second, because that's not what it's about. Go back to, what do you really want for yourself? Write that letter. That's the most important place to start right there, because it doesn't matter if you do Shift Shot, Quarter Force, P90X, Insanity. If you don't have a blueprint for who you want to become, you're just working out. If you're going to go through that, you might as well give birth to the best part of you, give birth to all of you. So first and foremost, I would say, write the letter. Write the letter of who you want to become, every detail of your life. When you do the program, you're already ahead of the game. As you navigate through that, when those symptoms come, or you're tired, you got another round, or you got 30 seconds and you beat up, that letter is going to resonate. That letter is going to appear. This is why you're doing this, because you're going to give birth to the best part of you. That your personality, who you become in that letter, is who you are creating in that furnace. Does that make sense to you? Yes, you still get fruit and Shakeology all throughout it. You absolutely do. And so there was a situation that really touched me yesterday when I had this vision, like someone was like, so if a person is overweight, like Shakeology is your friend. And then you get those symptoms of like those sugar cravings and all that. You gotta start, when that stuff surfaces, that make you want to go back to that comfort food. And another thing, let me say this like real quick. A lot of you guys, right? You know, when I pulled Jamie up on that stage with me, I pulled her up on that stage for a reason. And the reason why I pulled her up there is first of all, I didn't even know she was out there. But I felt something on stage. I felt a tug in my heart. And it would just, first I was going over here because I'm just navigating, but my chest, before I grabbed her, my heart like went over there. And I saw her. And I'm like, hold on. Pulled her up on stage. And I pulled her on the stage because, you look at someone like Jamie, the first person from a person would think is, oh, she's overweight, she's obese. But no one looks at why. Like, why is she that way? What has happened in her life that would make her feel like she needed food for comfort? She represented to me back when I was in that pit. She represented to me when I was broken. No one knows the hurtful things that was said to her. No one knows the things that made her feel broken, incomplete, no confidence, no hope, no sense of life. No one understood that. And she represented her. Looking at her, I felt it. And so when I pulled her up on the stage, I wanted to say to her, this is your moment right here. This is you up here with me. This is your moment to show that anybody can do this program. It ain't about being a perfect shape. It's about what's in your spirit. It's about resonating all those aborted dreams that you used to have. It's about resurrecting all of that goodness that you once dreamed about. Everything that you truly want for yourself. All you need is a glimpse. All you need is one person to truly believe in you and see something in you that you might not see in yourself right now. And I needed her to be on that stage with me because she represented that hardship that I went through. And I wanted her to have her moment, man. And that's how that happened. Yeah, definitely. You see people, I see, even when I train people, like, and I knew that when I put her up on that stage, I only got 30 minutes with this girl. I got 30 minutes to show her. Remember, if you look at the video, I told her, you're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're more fit than ever. I meant that. Like, I meant those words. Those just wasn't words.
Daddy, my running queen can go all by itself. It can race over, it can drive all by itself.
Okay, well, go get Lightning McQueen then. Sorry about that. What's the next question? This dude just interrupt my thing for Lightning McQueen.
That's
right.
Priorities.
What equipment do you need? Okay, equipment. So you need medium and light dumbbells and the markers, all right? And also, let me handle something else that I know is going to come up. How much space do you need? Here's my whole analogy on the whole space concept. And you take this and apply it to where you need. I'm going to put myself in an explanation. So say I'm a coach and I got this little apartment. On set, we use a 9x9 space, 8x8 space. That is a blessing to have that kind of space. But say I'm a new coach, right? Or I'm a coach, and I got a 5x5 space or a 4x4 space. Immediately, that thought of doubt is going to come. You really can't do this program. Okay, anytime you hear something like that, what's behind that? What's behind that if you do this program, right? You got the doubt. The reason for you not to do it is your space. If this is me, based on what I've been through, I'm going to look at that like, well, thank you for telling me that I don't have enough space. You know why? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 5x5 space. I'm going to do the best I can, maximize this space, and give my absolute all. What's going to happen is throughout this process, I'm going to make a shift. I'm going to realize I feel better about myself. I'm more confident. I got a glimpse of my potential. Now, after I get out of the shift shop, I'm going to hold challenge groups. I'm going to take this to my team. Then what's going to happen, I'm going to show my team that they can make the shift. They're going to be empowered. They're going to become better coaches. They're going to grow their team. Then what's going to happen is my team is going to grow, which means I'm going to generate more revenue. Then I'm going to take that revenue, look at this little apartment from my humble beginnings or whatever my budget could afford at that time, and I'm going to build a house or I'm going to buy a bigger house with a bigger weight room. Then I'm going to have the space I want. Then what's going to happen is as I'm thriving, my team is thriving, a new coach is going to come into the network on my team. We're going to have another program that may require space, and this person's going to say, well, I really can't do that because I don't have any space. Guess who has a message for them? I do, because I just came from that. That's what it's about, guys. Everything you guys are feeling right now, all this experience you're feeling from me, is my mess. I turn my mess into my message. You see what I'm saying? I took my hurts, my pains, and I'm giving it to you because I never wanted a person to feel as broken and incomplete and beat up as I felt during that time period. So I'm doing all I can to empower you right now, while you may not be going through something that extreme, to run like hell and give the birth to your best self. Look at yourself. Understand. You created with a purpose. You're beautiful. Don't allow other people's insecurities to get on you, man. It's the worst thing in the world because you start thinking like them. When you're around people who don't dream, who don't believe, who missed the mark, who gave up on themselves, I'm telling you, they will try to choke you out of your dreams in a heartbeat. And it's subliminal. You got to look at things like this. I just said in the last call. Say you go out to eat with your family, right? You sit there and you order a meal. You order your husband's, or your husband order his, and you order all your kids. The waiter goes out, the restaurant's packed. All of a sudden, the waiter comes out with the trays, and you think it's your food. He set the food down. It's not your food. It's the table next to you's food. What's the first thing you going to say? I'm sorry, but this ain't our food. Right? You ain't going to claim that. You don't want it. Then why can't you do that when people put you down? When people say you ain't going to make it? Why do you listen to those voices that tell you that you'll never be the best you can be? That you're too old. It's too late. You're not smart enough. You don't have this degree. You don't have this. Why would you listen to that? If you won't take food that's not yours. Well, guess what? The things they're saying to you isn't yours either, because you were created with a purpose. You were your gift, your wealth, your success, your love, your joy, your peace, your creativity, your genius is all connected to your purpose, guys. Don't listen to anything that's opposite of that letter you write to yourself, because it's all a lie. It's all an illusion, and it's a lie. You listen to it, that's why you're on medicine. That's why you about to go crazy. That's why you hate your life and everything around it, because you didn't accept something that is not even yours. You took on somebody else's stuff. That ain't your stuff. I'm sorry, I'm tripping. My fault. What's the question? Shift shot what? Mic drop. Let me drop my mouse. All right, my fault. Let me quit. All right. I'm sorry. Can this be done outdoors? Man, you don't follow me on Instagram. What's wrong with you? Look on Instagram. There's all kinds of stuff going on outdoors. All right. I'm tripping. Come on, ask me another fake shift shot question. I don't know where that came from, but let me drop it again. No, I'm joking. All right, hold on. Do you have a favorite PD book? No. My book is my life. I'm being honest, and I'm continuously writing it, man. I go back through memory lane all the time. I think about my mom. You know, she's a sweet woman, but, you know, she was distracted. You know, she allowed me to get molested. She allowed me to almost get kidnapped as a child. She allowed me to, you know, she physically and mentally, emotionally abused me. My pops wasn't in my life. Man, it's a hell of a story. I look back at all of that, and I look at everything I'm striving to be, and that alone is motivation. I mean, it's true. Right one? Well, I could if I wasn't answering all these damn messages on social media. I got like 275 messages, man. The message request is like 120. I'm like, good. Podcast. That sounds like a good idea. What else you got for me? Any of you leaders got any mic yourself and ask questions? Come on. You got some questions. How many workouts include weights? The program is 6 days a week, so all of them, except all the strength workouts require weights. The cardio requires the markers.
I'll be real. I'll ask a question. Thank you, though, for that shout out. Hey, so nutrition stuff. Why are we reintroducing carbs back in week 4 now? Why are they putting them back in?
Well, let me. So sometimes I get into this like erratic mindset of like, use your spirit, and Denis was like, Chris, we got to bring their bodies back into balance. I'm like, balance what? They feel good. He said, no, we got to. And if you look at it, I'm not going to say it is, but it looks like carb cycling, to be honest. But yeah, it really does. And so he said, you got to bring their bodies back in balance from not having carbs that week. And they broke it down into science and glycogen and all that good stuff. And I'm like, okay, but that's fine, whatever. Whatever works. But yeah, that's it. That's why
that's the answer I was looking for. I wanted to see like your response to it. I'm like, because for me, I'm probably not going to do it.
yeah. Here's another thing about the nutrition. The vegan, you get like a shopping list of tons of food that you can. So if you're vegan, you can pick and choose what you want and substitute it in the meal plan. So there's tons and tons of options. Let's see, cool. What else you got? Yeah, when I cut carbs, I do eat high fats. I love avocado. I eat avocado, nuts, definitely.
So what you're saying is avocado is approved.
Yes, I love avocado. Hey, I don't understand how they classify that as a fruit. I really don't, but I love it. It's high fat. I love it. I love it. Yeah, heck yeah. Eat it. Let me see. Another question? No? Come on, you got all
I have
these
one.
questions.
What does little Chris Jr. think of all this?
He don't know.
He doesn't. He's just like,
He has
Dad.
no idea. No, because I don't think he. Well, I'm bringing him to Summit with me, so we'll see. Yeah, he has no idea. Like he doesn't. I don't know. I mean, he does. He's been to LA, quite a few times, and they love him at Beachbody. He knows some of them, but I just think I'm looking at him and I'm seeing, man, like I love it. Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Am I unmuted?
Yep.
Okay, this is Amy. Hey,
What's up?
I don't know if I'll get a chance to talk with you personally again. So I was in Punta Cana and I worked up front, and you had come down right around all of us working out. And I was like, I think I had my head back. I was like, I'm dying. I mean, I didn't say that out loud, but I think you could see into my face. And I'm going to try to say it without not crying. But you looked at me and you said, are you okay? And then I was like, no, I'm good. You put your hand on my shoulder. He goes, no, are you okay? And I said, I'm good. And I think just the fact of knowing just how you are in our test group, the kind of person that you are, I mean, you are just about to be loved by thousands and thousands of people. And so just know that your story and your passion and your genuineness is so admirable that we all love you, and you are just about to blow up. So get ready for it.
Well, thank you. That kind of freaks me out a little bit now. No, like honestly, I'll be honest. The hardest thing for all of this, you ain't gonna believe it. The easiest part is the workouts because I love people. The hardest thing for me to deal with is this celebrity stuff. Like I don't like fame. I don't like celebrity because I'm a normal person. Like when you come through from where I came from, man, you don't care about that. You care about doing the best you can to make an impact. And plus, man, I like going to Target. If I can't go to Target in peace, Like that's a problem. Like I love Target. I love it. So I got to be able to go where I want to go, and I just, I'm too much of a people person. And then the whole summit deal, like I had to talk with him. I'm like, why I gotta walk around with security though? Like I don't need it. No, you need it. I'm like, but I love people though. We know that, but you need security. I'm like, man, I struggle with that kind of stuff. So I'm like, that's why I got off the stage. That's why I hold coaches day at my gym once a month. I mean, I want to give to you guys, man. I want to share my world, share my life, share my love, share my vision, share my gift with you. That's why Cam came to the last one once a month. Open my gym, shut my gym down for the day. Coaches, some flew in, some drive 3-4 hours, and I just train coaches all day long, man, for like 4 or 5 hours. So, and actually the next one is this Saturday. All right. Is there going to be a shift shop too? Film it outdoors, out like. Man, this probably about to be a shift shop 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. No, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. All right. My gyms are in Louisville, Ohio, and North Canton, Ohio, which are about 15 minutes apart.
And Pittsburgh Market Council is begging and pleading that he comes to Pittsburgh for.
Yeah, I'm like an hour 45 minutes away from you guys.
And we're begging corporate to have him at Super Saturday, but we don't know if that's really going to happen. So, well, I think that's it. I think thank you so much. I mean, we are beyond thankful, all leaders. We're so excited to have you, and everybody's obviously very thankful that we had you on the call. And guys, definitely, I mean, if you are by any means scared of sharing your story, I hope that Chris inspired you to step out of that comfort zone, because when you share your testimony, it's gonna you can't tell me that this did not inspire you or just move your heart in some way. And that's what happens when you're transparent. You step out of your comfort zone and do this, So many of us are so scared of that what people are going to think and that we're going to be judged on social media. And really, yeah, Cam, this was everything. And it's just, he's such a great example. Go write yourself that letter and say it to yourself every dang day. Thank you so much, Chris. It was awesome.
Thank you guys. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.